What if falling in love is, well, kind of a myth? Today, we're going to dig into a really radical idea that love isn't some accident we just stumble into. No, it's something we have to build, actively, consciously, every single day. You know, we talk about falling in love all the time, like it's this passive thing that just happens to us, a happy accident. But is that really the whole story? I mean, that's the big question we're tackling here. What if love is less about some random, fleeting feeling and way more about a conscious choice that we make over and over again?
You know, to really understand something, it helps to know what it's not. So, what's the opposite of love? Most of us would jump straight to hate, but the framework we're exploring today suggests something else entirely, something way more destructive. It says the true opposite of love isn't a fiery passion like hate, but a cold, dismissive contempt. And just think about that for a second. Contempt. It isn't just being annoyed or angry. It's a conscious decision to devalue another person, to basically decide they're not worthy. It's this corrosive, acidic force that just eats away at everything. And that is what truly stands in direct opposition to the act of love.
Okay, so where is this powerful idea even coming from? Well, it comes from Dr. Michael Lukens. He's a clinical psychologist, an emotions theorist, and the brain behind a theory called the physics of emotioning. And look, this isn't just some abstract idea. It's built on more than 30 years of deep clinical experience. We're talking about work in some of the toughest areas: addiction, trauma resolution, relationship repair. It's from that real-world understanding of human struggle and healing that he developed this framework. A framework that doesn't just redefine love, it actually gives us a practical roadmap to build it. Dr. Lukens has a specific name for his definition of love: committed benevolent interest, or CBI for short. Now, this has nothing to do with whirlwind romance or fleeting feelings. Think of it more like a fundamental orientation, a stance you choose to take. It's the conscious, intentional choice to prioritize another person's well-being. It's not a feeling, it's an action, it's a practice. So let's break down CBI. It's got 3 parts. First, you've got committed. This is about sustained dedication. It's sticking with it. Then there's benevolent, which is all about genuine kindness and compassion, putting that kindness into action. And finally, you have interest. This is huge. It means being actively engaged and genuinely curious about who the other person really is. You see, each part supports the others. It's a complete system. This brings us to one of the core ideas here: the love-contempt continuum. Just picture a spectrum. On one end, you have love, CBI. On the absolute other end, you have contempt. And here's the kicker. The spot we choose to stand on that spectrum becomes the lens through which we see our entire world. It shapes how we react to literally everything. All right, let's make this super practical. Picture this. You're at a cafe, and a server accidentally spills a drink on you. Now, if you're looking through that contempt lens, you probably see incompetence, maybe you think they did it on purpose, and your reaction is anger. But what if you look through the lens of CBI? You just see a simple accident, a human mistake. Your entire response changes. It becomes, hey, it's okay, accidents happen. It's the exact same event, but 2 totally different experiences, all based on the lens you chose. Okay, let's raise the stakes a bit. Your partner forgets your anniversary. Ouch. Now, a contempt-based response immediately sees this as a deliberate slight. It's proof they don't care. That leads to accusations, fights, you know the drill. But a CBI-based response, it sees a human being who made a mistake. It leads to a gentle reminder, a conversation about connecting, not about blaming. You can see how that choice of lens can either build a relationship up or completely tear it down. So Dr. Lukens calls our default setting on the spectrum our ground of being. It's the lens we automatically reach for, and yeah, it's been shaped by all our life experiences. But here's the most important, most empowering part. It is not set in stone. Whether your default is to assume the best in people or expect the worst, you can consciously choose to shift your ground of being, to move it away from contempt and slide it over toward love. So how do we actually do that? How do we shift our ground of being? Well, it's a practice. It starts with mindful self-reflection, just noticing our automatic reactions without judgment. Then we can work on nurturing empathy and compassion, really trying to see things from another's point of view. It's strengthened by practicing forgiveness, which is really about letting ourselves off the hook from past hurts. And finally, it's about actively challenging those ingrained negative thought patterns that keep pulling us back towards contempt.
And at the end of the day, why does any of this really matter? Because this practice, this choice to generate CBI, it isn't just about making your relationships with other people better, it fundamentally changes the relationship you have with yourself. When you actively choose to be kind and dedicated and curious, you are literally building a version of yourself that you can look at in the mirror and genuinely admire and respect. So I'll just leave you with this question to think about. Love, when you look at it this way, isn't some huge, mysterious thing that's out of our control. It's built from a million tiny, everyday choices and actions. So, what is one small, intentional act of benevolent interest, a little kindness, a moment of commitment, or a spark of curiosity that you can choose to practice today?